Okay, we're welcoming you back to this segment, discussion segment. It is. And today we're going to look at the improving academic excellence in universities. That's the first topic we have for you this morning. I'm still here with Ugonna. Are you ready?
Yes, it's still good to be here. I'm so ready. Let's get the party started.
Okay then. And then to help us look at this all-important topic is the person who should know. Professor Mrs. Ngozi Udeh. Prof is the Dean, Faculty of Arts, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Ibadan. Prof, we welcome you to us to this morning.
Hello, viewer. You're welcome to this wonderful, explosive episode of Good Morning, Anambra.
Wow.
Always looking unassuming. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you.
Good to have
Now,
you too.
Prof, recently, University of Ibadan ranked first in Nigeria and 1,099 in the world. And it is the only university in Nigeria that made it to 2018 World University Ranking, while 6 South African universities made the list.
Okay.
Now tell me, Prof, where did we miss it?
Let me actually say something, Prof, before you give an answer to that question. Now, we're talking about improving academic excellence in university. Let's get to know, what does it even mean to improve academic excellence? Then we can get into the next question of the university ranking, at the position it is.
Thank you. All of them zero down to the same thing. Your question is, what is academic excellence? I will define simply what education is and what it should be. John Dewey defined education as impartation of knowledge on a willing body. So here we have two things: the imparter of the knowledge and the body the knowledge is being imparted on. So to have what we call academic excellence, both the imparter of the knowledge and the body the knowledge is being imparted on should be taken into due considerations. So we are talking about the teacher and the taught.
We're talking about the teacher and the taught.
That's the excellence of the teacher and the taught. And all I can say is that for education to be effective, the teacher should be geared towards effectiveness, and the students should also be geared towards effectiveness. I don't know, let me start with the teacher. For the teacher, it is what we call a dichotomy between the TSE and the TE. The TSE versus the TE. The TSE is the teacher self-efficacy, while the TE is the teacher effectiveness.
Effectiveness.
Yes. So it is the efficacy versus the effectiveness. Now, look at the TSE. The TSE is the ability of the teacher to convince himself that he has this aptitude to teach. It is the teacher's worthiness. He should first of all gauge himself, assess himself, and agree with himself that he is capable of handling defined academic goals and yielding the necessary results.
Okay.
Then, teachers' effectiveness borders on the socio-political factors surrounding the teaching and learning atmosphere. Is the teacher's salary able, the teacher's take-home salary, is it able to take him home? You cannot be effective when you are hungry. Does the teacher have the enabling environment to teach? The other one borders on the teacher's ability. This one has to do with the teacher's emotion. Is the teacher given the rightful place, the support to teach? All these will contribute to the effectiveness of education.
And by extension, academic excellence.
Excellent.
Okay, before we continue, please, for those of you that are watching us, this program is interactive. You have heard what we're discussing. It is improving academic excellence in universities. I'm sure everybody is concerned. So you can call in and make your own contributions, okay?
The numbers are on your screen, so you
Yes.
can keep the calls coming in. And that brings me to my next question now. What strategies might help a teacher understand what students are thinking and knowing?
First, the teacher should be qualified, academically qualified. You don't employ somebody who read history to teach geography.
Mm-hmm.
So the teacher, the efficacy aspect comes to the forefront here.
Okay.
You hire the right teacher for the right teaching episode, for the right teaching job. You don't hire because you know somebody. You hire because the teacher is fully qualified. When a qualified teacher handles the class must learn. That is one. Then another one is giving the teacher an enabling atmosphere. How good are the universities, the infrastructures? Does the teacher have an office? Is the teacher, what I mean is self job satisfaction. Is the teacher satisfied with the job he is doing? Because if you're not fulfilled, you cannot deliver. We are talking about academic excellence, and we are trying to look at factors that can hinder academic excellence. First, I said hire the right person for the right job. To equip this person you have hired, let the educational sector be duly funded by the government.
Okay, we are still coming to funding of education, but
Okay.
we just want to look at the bane. What do you think as the bane of academic excellence? What it is that will make us not to achieve it?
A lot of things. A lot of things. One should be corruption.
Okay.
And corruption borders on teachers' emotion and the students' emotion too, because it's a two-way traffic. And it all zeroes down to the socio-political problem we are facing in the country. If the teacher is satisfied, he will deliver. And if the students are given a conducive environment to learn, they will learn. But when students are made to learn under trees, when the school fees is so high, parents
Under trees, are you saying that dilapidated infrastructures in school is one of the bane?
The socio-political
Okay, like
structure in Nigeria, the socio-political structure in Nigeria is hostile to education.
Okay.
So I believe this hinders education and it hinders the effectiveness of education. You don't expect the best out of the worst. So I believe if we, but there is something somebody said somewhere, and I did not say it, about somebody said it, that...
And you are quoting the somebody.
Exactly. That, you know, a kind government, when the government is hostile to education, it means they don't want the educational factor to improve, so that they will continue to raise imbeciles who will not challenge the government. So despotism fosters in the face of illiteracy, and maybe not.
You know, you mentioned corruption when you were talking as one of the banes, and then as we see these structures there are possibilities that some of these structures have been, money have been laid down or given to universities to handle them or not. But the fact remains that they are just like this.
If money is given to a university, the university should be monitored. There should be, if things did not get spoiled from the beginning, if the water did not get spoiled from the beginning of the spring, I don't think it will flow down dirty to the...
Look at lecture hall, the ceilings are falling off.
Yes.
And then how do you expect somebody to concentrate and then have a good...
conducive atmosphere for learning. Conducive atmosphere for learning, job fulfillment for the teachers. And good infrastructure, research opportunities. I believe these are the things that will bring effectiveness into
Okay,
education.
recently, my colleague talked about the University of Ibadan ranking, 1,000 among the top 1,000, in the world bracket. Covenant University came, Obafemi Awolowo University also ranking at 2,000 thereabout. Now, what is responsible for this woeful ranking now Nigerian universities generally? Is it because we are not good enough? Is it because the government is not pumping more fund into the education system? What is the problem?
It's not about pumping. It's about giving what is due to education. We are not asking the government to pump. We are pleading with the government to please consider education as an important aspect of the nation's growth. So when the budgets are made, you look at the allocation to education. How much do we allocate to education yearly, and how is it utilized? Do you allocate and keep back? Do you allocate and give out? Now, to who did you give? Did you give to your kinsman? Or did you give to your friends?
And as against the suggested 26% of the annual budget, we heard about 6% was budgeted for education. And how far do you think that one will go, considering the number of universities we have in the whole
This is
nation?
very funny. A nation is as big as its educated citizens. So the nation cannot outgrow its educated citizens. So when the nation tramples down on education, it tramples down on progressivism. It tramples down on growth. So how can you allocate 6% to education when education should be at the forefront? Where did all the others go? To kitchen, or to shoe, or to wardrobes, or what?
Because this is actually a very big problem when you look at the level of education in Nigeria as a country. Because when you look at these people who are in government, who are the helms of affairs, their children, most of their children are not studying in this country. They tend to take them outside the country. What is responsible? Because this is a big one. In the near future, maybe we wouldn't even have students who are actually educated anymore.
I have told you before that despotism fosters in the face of illiteracy. And these people, whoever they are, they send their children out to learn, so they come back and continue to perpetuate the despot structure. Now, if you educate the people inside, they may rise up one day to ask one or two questions, and that is what every despot fears. So I believe that is why education is being trampled in Nigeria. Yes.
When you were talking about the bane of academic excellence in Nigeria, you mentioned corruption first. And I'm still wondering, is it corruption in the system? Corruption among the education policy makers? Or in the institution? Which one is it that is affecting academic excellence in Nigeria?
You see, I'm sorry to say this, but this corruption is found in every rubrics of the nation's system, starting from where the budget was made to where the budget is going to be implemented, to that person, that woman out there in the streets. The corruption runs across. So you don't even know where to begin. When somebody says he's fighting corruption, it is good to ask the person, which aspect of corruption are you fighting? Is it the one staring you in the face, or the one behind you, or the one beside you? It's a sordid case in Nigeria. And when it comes to education and its effectiveness, it's heart-rending. It's because, as I told you before, education is the backbone of every living society. And when you trample down on education, you've trampled down on genealogy, you've trampled down on the society. I mean, the society is just a mess.
Everything about it.
Okay, like in Nigeria now, there's this, feeling, there's this belief that without education, you cannot make headways in Nigeria. Now, looking at the university, for example, I'm actually going to use myself as a case study. While I was in school, I had some colleagues of mine who the idea was to come to school and get the certificate. That was the idea. Now, it wasn't coming to learn because Nigeria has painted it that, come out, do you have a certificate and go get a job? And someone else, I was having a discussion with someone when the person told me that, why does he even need an education? Because whatever job you get now, you'll be trained to do the job. So why is this thought? What's wrong with this mindset?
I told you before that it's about hiring the right person to do the right job. All this, that mindset is based on corruption, because this person is of the opinion that you just get the certificate and move. Why get a beautiful paper with your name written on it, which does not belong to you? I remember way back 5 years ago, we went to Nairobi for a conference. As we were coming back, we were accosted at the airport. They said the presidency was not very happy with us because somebody, I was not the one who delivered the paper, but somebody or someone amongst us delivered a paper where the person said that so and so million graduates of Nigeria are unemployed. So the minister had to talk to us, told us that the president is a lecturer too. When he leaves office, he will go back to school, and that the problem lies with us. I had to ask, why does the problem lie with us? He said, you lecturers, you are churning out graduates who mostly have unemployable skills. That's the way he put
actually,
it.
I was going
he said,
to that,
yes,
because
that Nigeria may have as many millions of unemployed graduates, but the fact remains that most of them have unemployable skills.
Really?
Yes.
That
was what we were told, and we had to defend
and you don't
ourselves.
believe it? That was what you were told. Do you believe it?
We had to defend ourselves the most we could, but then it's a fact. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
Yes.
Okay, but recently, because the Minister for Education state suggested a 1-year skill acquisition program for graduates.
NYSC?
No, after NYSC or before.
Okay.
It's going to be an additional year.
Yeah.
Okay. For them to be our graduates to be employable.
Because even in the NYSC scheme now, while you're probably in camp, there's this period, probably like a week, where some resource person comes in and try to teach some skills. But even at that, like you said earlier on, it's a fact. Looking at it, the university every year churns out graduates that are not employable. Recently, there were some set of people who went for service, and while they were going through the registration, the man was wondering, did you really graduate? I mean,
that's because there is a craze for certificates.
And that's it.
And not a craze for that knowledge.
And sometimes the universities are not helping, because
that was why some
lecturers will not come for lectures. They'll just come for once or twice in a semester.
Remember, there was something I said, teacher efficacy versus teacher effectiveness.
Yes.
When the teacher does not have the efficacy, who is the teacher? When you have an inward look into yourself, do you convince yourself that you're a teacher?
Okay.
That is the
issue. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Please speak up. Let's hear you. What's your name? Okay, you're not ready for us. Finally, before we go, Prof, please, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What's the way out for us to get academic excellence in Nigeria? Because it's very, very pathetic.
The government should take responsibility.
Especially as regards to research funding. That's one big
The government should take responsibility. Should fund education.
Okay. Encourage
the teachers to learn. Create conducive atmosphere for education to foster. You don't put teachers in a quagmire and students in a pigsty and expect excellent education. The problem is with the government. It's as simple as that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm afraid that's how far we can go in this segment. Thank you, Prof. Professor Mrs. Ngozi Udeh, the Dean, Faculty of Arts, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Chukwu University.
You've not told me why you always put Mrs. in that professor.
Sorry,
You say
it's my
Professor
producer. It's my producer. So it's Professor Ngozi Udeh. Thank you very much. I love it that way. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
many
always
thanks
a
for
delight
coming
having
on
you.
the show.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you.
man. Welcome. Thank you. Okay, better we'll have to take a break here and then come back for the next segment. Please don't away.